Beautiful, beautiful. Let's step out of this tech bubble, kind of, right? To be successful, we have to get business people along, what you mentioned, right? Analyzing business problem first, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
with that, some knowledge has to propagate, right, through that border between business and tech divide, don't you think?
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about it. You have to be able to experience a business problem in order to understand that it's a problem to begin with, right? And so sometimes tech people are so ingrained in the technology that they're not as ingrained in understanding that I can do that deep dive into business and I can start to figure out what the problem is. And then I can even go one step further and I can envision a solution and then I can conceptualize it. Maybe I can't build it, but at least I can envision and conceptualize it. And then even if I can build it, or I can get the help and the resources to build it, I'm doing really well, aren't I, at that point? And I think that teaching these things is all about experience.
Okay.
But we need to give people chances to have these experiences to go do it. And you know what? Sometimes you just might be surprised.
Totally. There is this comic going everywhere, like Twitter, LinkedIn, where, personal interview and interviewer, right, asking, do you have any experience? Person says, no, I don't. Good. We hope you're going to get one with us. You hired.
Right. There you go. That's
I love
right.
it. Don't you?
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? Mm-hmm. You have to be willing to take a chance as a manager, but that's okay, isn't it? It's perfectly okay.
It requires completely different, manager mindset, don't you think?
Yes.
It requires a lot involvement from a manager, because I've seen all kinds of managers in my career. You can believe it, right? So this industrial era, kind of early 20th century management jobs, they also not here anymore because you're not putting people into repetitive tasks anymore, right? Into repetitive jobs. You have to be a little more intelligent with empathy and with human curiosity. Who is going to be good at what job?
Hey, look, we can all sit here and say that we've all worked at one time or another for a host of different managers. Some good, some bad. Unfortunately, there's more bad than good. And there's experiences that we pick up along the way that sometimes we pick up some bad habits along the way too. And I always tell my managers, we're never done becoming a good manager. It goes on. It's an ongoing process. And I've run some big companies before. And I've learned that that's the case, that we're never done. And we always encounter a new challenge and a new problem. And now it's a skill set problem. And how are we going to overcome that? And I like your suggestion. I like your example of using yourself as well, because you can look inside of the situation and say, this is what happened to me. And imagine that it would happen to somebody else. But managers have to be able to see that and see that opportunity. When I'm hiring for a job today, whether it's a tech related job or maybe it's an administrative job, I'm always looking at it in the same exact way. Mm-hmm. Is this person a giver? Are they a taker? Or are they a matcher? Adam Grant wrote a very good book called Give and Take. And there's so much truth to it that it's almost kind of eerie. That the psychology behind human beings is that they can either give a lot in a professional environment, and they're seen as people that might be weak. And then there's the matchers that say, hey, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. And then there are the takers that are perceived to be the people that just are completely selfish and take everything all the time and never give anything back. So do they get ahead faster than the givers who then turn around?
Run, right? Maybe on some very short period. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what we find and what he found, which is so true, that when I say we we find it in our job hiring as well, that people that are givers, they may be perceived sometimes as being weak, but they're really not. And they give, and based on their giving, they have an opportunity to make other people around them successful. And that's very interesting.
That's a precious quality, right? To have on your team, if someone with that personality, right? No,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when other people are successful around that person, what happens? The company can be successful. And this is so true in a smaller company as well. Bigger companies, absolutely. Smaller companies, everything is magnified. And here we go with this assessment of give and take. I'll sit in an interview and I'll start identifying this person as a giver, a matcher, or a taker. And how can that benefit us in this particular position? And you often find that you come out on the side of giver quite a bit.